Hey, what's going on, guys? Matty Brolick here, and along with me is Dave. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Fernay.
Okay, so today we have the game of the week for the NPL week one, and today this game is between both Trevenant and Jolt, the Token Minorities. And we have not seen this game yet, so we are definitely excited to see this. I believe there was definitely some tension in this game from last season. I believe Trevenant beat Jolt. Was it in the playoffs, Dave?
Yeah, it's a huge rivalry between the two big birds, Braviarys and Staraptors, and Jolt has not had the best record against Trev, so it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get right into this game. Looking at the team preview, um, it looks like Trevenant just brought tons of power. I mean, he's got things like the blade, which if it's SD, could be extremely strong. Victini, almost any Victini set is going to be really powerful if it has V Create on it. Lander's Therian has a crazy high attack stat, but looks like it'll be setting up rocks this game. Curum Black can really, it doesn't really look like Trev has, I mean, like Jolt has any switch-ins to this Curum Black, so that's definitely a huge threat. And then the Alamomola to check things like the Terrakion and the Heliolisk also looks like it could put in a good amount of work because Jolt doesn't have any ground types and whatnot. But Jolt's team looks just as threatening with things like Mega Venusaur that could wall a lot of Trevenant's team and things like Terrakion that could punch huge holes into anything that isn't named the Blade. So we'll get right into the battle now.
I just wanted to say that looking at Trev's team, it looks like that's a Scarf Heliolisk. I would assume that the it looks like that could be a defensive stealth rocking Landorus because he has nothing else with stealth rock and maybe I don't know like an offensive hone edge or I mean Doublade.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that for sure.
I guess Jolt. I think that's just a stealth rocking Clefable because I don't know what else he could do. He could have spikes and toxic spikes on Greninja, which it doesn't have protein. It has torrent. So I don't think he might not be using it for 100% offense.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point that Dave makes there. Just because they did ban Protean in this league, so Greninja is not nearly as potent as an offensive threat as it normally was when it did have Protean. So it can do some other cool things though, like set up both spikes and toxic spikes. So that'd be interesting because um, Terrakion Terrakion could run Stealth Rocks, but a lot of times you want Terrakion to punch huge holes in your opponent's team. So unless he has Stealth Rock Clefable, then it looks like he doesn't have too many hazards. So let's see what Jolt is going to do in the form of hazards, and let's see how this battle goes down.
Another
So,
thing Terrakion can do is actually have HP Ice just because he knows that there is a Landorus on the Atlanta Braviarys roster, so he
right,
could actually have HP Ice.
absolutely. I remember HPI's Terrakion was really popular back in Gen 5. And he does lead with the Greninja. It looks like this thing may be a hazard stacking lead, so that's definitely a good call, Dave. And he leads with a Heliolisk, and it turns out it is not Scarfed because the Greninja outspeeds it, and he does set up Toxic Spikes. So definitely a good call for Dave. And Toxic Spikes do look like they can help Jolt out a lot, as they could definitely chip away at um, Trev's team, and he doesn't have any form of hazard removal, so let's see who he goes into. He goes into the Blade, which is a good play because it doesn't get poisoned, and he could knock out with Shadow Sneak if he'd like. But he looks like Jolt is going to switch out into Rotom Heat. Good play. Doesn't take. He actually takes a pretty good amount from that Shadow Claw. And now he switches out his Rotom back into the Greninja here. I guess just to sack it off. But he actually. Oh, he withdraws. Oh, okay. He must be predicting a switch here.
That was a really good double switch, predicting Trev to be scared of the overheat
Yep,
by
definitely.
Jolt.
And now Greninja just goes for a layer of spikes. So very good playing on Jolt's part. And Trev makes the safe play by going into the Blade, knowing that he could just knock it out with Shadow Sneak. But he does predict a switch out, and Greninja's Torrent Boosted Skull does a lot to that Blade. So if he had Shadow Sneak, then he probably should have went for it there, uh, just because he would take so much damage like he did. But um, Yeah, not the worst thing in the world. So now as this Rotom comes in, he does go back into his Landorus Therian, and let's see what the Rotom goes for here. It actually goes for Light Screen. That is interesting. I did practice a little bit with Jolt for this game, and he did use a Light Clay dual screen Rotom Heat. I didn't know if he would actually bring it to this game, and it looks like he did. And it was smart because on Trevenant's team, the only possible defogger he had was Braviary, and if he didn't bring that, then screens would be up to stay for a long time if he could set them up with Rotom, and he does. So now he goes
I'd,
into
al-
Groot.
I'd also like to mention that Rotom Heat, when it gets up light screen, could actually live in Earth Power from Kyurem.
Wow,
Yeah, I
four
just ran a
times.
calc on that.
That's crazy. So let's see what the Venusaur is going to go for here. The Venusaur just stays in on the Victini and just decides to take his Zen Headbutt. It looks like that's a Scarf Victini and maybe a physically defensive Venusaur because that does not do too much. And Venusaur goes for the Sludge Bomb, getting some nice damage on the Victini. Yeah, the Victini goes for another Zen Headbutt, maybe trying to get a flinch so he can't synthesis up. So we'll see what happens here. But he just goes straight for the Sludge Bomb, maybe predicting a switch or just wanting to get rid of Victini. And that is exactly what he does. Venusaur is at very low HP, but it did take out Victini, which was a huge threat to his team. So um, both teams looking fairly solid, but I would say Jolt is in a good position right now. But now he does not have switch-ins to this thing, so let's see Dave what he's going to pick as his fodder. And he does just let Venusaur go down.
I think that might mean that he might have Thunderbolt on his Porygon just because that's the only thing left that can counter Alamomola if he loses Venusaur. So I think that means he's got something planned for that Alamomola.
That's true. I mean, I wonder even if Alamomola can live or avoid a 2-hit KO from a adaptability try attack because Porygon 2 is just so strong. And he goes right for Nasty Plot, right? Okay, he's got Nasty Plot. So maybe he's... Could he be a double dancer? Okay, so with the light screen, he takes that Ice Beam very well. So now this Porygon's in a good position here. It could, if it has agility, it could go for that. If it goes for Tri Attack, something's gonna die, and it looks like this Kyurem's gonna go down.
If it was Double Dance, I think Porygon should have actually gone for Agility first over Nasty Plot, I think.
I
I
agree.
think I think that would have been a better play.
I agree. I don't think that Trev had much of a way of winning or stopping this Porygon too if he did go for agility, but maybe he didn't have it. We'll see here.
I think that's just gonna continue my theory that Porygon probably has Thunderbolt for Alamomola, Tri
Yeah,
Attack for coverage, and maybe Dark Pulse for the
the blade.
yeah.
That's a good point. That must be Specs Hyper Voice that had knocked out the Porygon through light screen though.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
does it
definitely
go
not
through
Scarf
screen?
because
Does
no, the light screen literally just ended the turn before.
Oh, it did end. Okay, okay. Do sound moves go through screens? I'm not sure. Okay, and the track end goes for Swords Dance here. And it doesn't look like Trev has really much of a switch in here because, okay, he just switches out expecting the Landers to be able to take a hit. And he goes into Rotom here. Maybe he's going to try to get up a another screen, or maybe he'll just go for an overheat or something. And that is what he does. That does a good amount of damage to this Landorus. Wow. The Stone Edge does connect. Okay. Not too much hacks in this battle so far. That's what we like to see.
I can't be too sure on what type of set that Landorus is just because it took so much from the overheat, yet it still has Stealth Rocks.
Right.
So
I
it
mean,
could
Landorus'
just be
special defense is pretty... Not low, but it's not very good. So maybe it's mostly defensive. It could be running a good amount of speed to outspeed certain things on Joel's team, perhaps.
a really big play right there, going for the HP Ice
Yeah,
revealing
wow.
that.
That was cool. And now he goes for the Earthquake on the Deblade. That, I'm not surprised that Trev would go into the Blade there because he could easily live a Stone Edge in close combat and HP Ice and maybe since he saw the swords dance, he didn't think that he would have Earthquake there, but maybe instead of Stone Edge or Close Combat, he's running Earthquake over one of them. So, interesting
Jolt
moveset.
really, Jolt really has no reason to run Stone Edge because it doesn't really hit anything on his team besides maybe Braviary that close combat wouldn't just kill.
Right. That's a good point. And now he goes into the Clefable here on the Alamomola. And I wonder what set Jolt is going to reveal for the Clefable.
I would like to mention that the reason why even though
Oh gosh.
Terrakion had Hidden Power Ice, the reason he switched out is because the HP Ice would have only done about 60% of the Landorus, and it was definitely above that percent, which is why he sacked Rotom Heat to get off that crucial damage.
Right, definitely good playing on Jolt's part because he put himself into a position where he could lure both the Landorus and the Doublade. And once he did that, now he put his Clefable in a fantastic position because as you can see, this Clefable is actually a Cosmic Power set, and I believe it's Magic Guard as well. I don't think I saw it take damage from the Stealth Rocks. I could be wrong, but I don't think it did. Which means that if the Alamomola has Toxic or wants to Scald Burn it, it can't do anything to it unless it has a crazy move like Mirror Coat or something like that. So now this Clefable is in prime position to win because with some Cosmic Powers up, I don't think it's going to be taking even a lot from Specs Hyper Voice. And so he goes for Soft Boiled, confirming that he is Magic Guard. Unaware cannot run Soft Boiled. So yeah, this game is uh, looking like it might be over in Jolt's favor because I can't imagine either Healerlisk or Alamomola, the only two Pokemon on Trev's team, coming back and being able to pull this back for him. So, what do you think, Dave? Do you think this is it?
I think it's just gonna come down to some serious stall to see who can give in to maybe PowerPoint or maybe the timer.
Right.
Also, the Clefable, I think there were some mind games with the Clefable because I think Trev was definitely expecting Unaware Clefable over Magic Guard just because he has an Azumarill and one of the few counters to Azumarill is Mega Venusaur and Clefable. But since Jolt has both of them, he opted on bringing Magic Guard
Right. Yeah,
specifically for this set, and it's gonna work out for him.
that is smart. Okay, guys, we skipped ahead a little bit to save you the trouble from this stall war. So this Clefable is at +6 defense and special defense. I'm imagining stored power. I don't really know what Trev can do unless he happens to have Mirror Coat or something like that. So I guess we'll see here if he does have Mirror Coat or anything. And he does have the Mirror Coat. So I guess that was his only chance, hoping that Clefable could go for stored power or something and he'd be able to live it. But I don't believe at +6 he had any chance of living a stored power. So um, it looks like Trevenant is not going to be able to pull this game back. So whenever Jolt decides to knock this Alamomola out, I'm not sure if he can knock it out from full at +6 in each, but since Alamomola's special defense is so low, I would think that it would, but I don't know.
Well, it was a good play by Jolt to never attack just because he knew that Mirror Coat is another move that Alamomola can have. Also, since he never saw Heal Bell or anything like that, there was just one empty slot, and Jolt realizes that, so never attacked, and that was a good play on him.
Yeah, absolutely. See, one of the most important things about these formats, it really is just knowing what a lot of different Pokemon could do. It's not about, and he just forfeits. So that was a fantastic game. Like I was just saying, Jolt. It was really important that Jolt knew exactly what all of Kevin's Pokemon could do, and he prepared for it accordingly. And the Alamomola, I guess not too many people know that it runs Mirror Coat because it's not a common set on Alamomola, but definitely good thinking on Jolt's part. He prepared extremely well. Both players played very well as well, and that was a really exciting game, a nice rivalry game. Congratulations to Jolt for picking up the win. And anything you'd like to say, Dave?
Well, we can definitely expect to see some sort of follow up from these two players. Obviously, they're both really good. They have shots at the playoffs. We might see them again in the playoffs, and definitely not the last time we're gonna see such an exciting match from these guys.
Yeah, 100%. I would not be surprised if we saw them playing again. I'm not. Do they have each other on their schedule again for this season? I'm not sure. 100%
I can check right now, but they definitely have a good shot at
at the
meeting
playoffs.
each other in the playoffs. Yeah,
That yeah,
they
that'd
don't
be nice.
they don't see each other again in the playoffs because they're not in the same division.
Okay,
So that was the only time they're going to see each other. But because they're not in the same division, again, it's a good chance they might meet in the playoffs.
okay, yeah, you're definitely right about that. So that would be an exciting one because we know that there's a nice rivalry going between these two guys, and they really played their hearts out in this game. So hats off to both of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, the game of the week for the NPL, and thank you all, and have a great day.